What's good, guys? Gadako Richard here. Happy New Year. Happy 2024. I just wanted to hop on camera and actually just simply talk about this new concept I've been, kind of cooking up for my daily life and what I've actually been learning over the past couple months. And it's actually fairly simple, but yet very complex and very deep. Responsibility loading. I'm sure you could probably relate to me in terms of every time you say your age to somebody, they're always surprised. Why is that? Because you and I are somewhat, I guess, different. In some cases, we've been able to, have access to a lot more, mature people in our life, been able to consume more mature information that, caused us to evolve a little bit past our peers. Therefore, we're more mature. We know a little bit more. We're kind of ahead of the flock, so to speak. And I don't want to say that with a prideful mouth because there's still a lot that I need to learn. I'm still a baby. I'm still a child, and so are you, unless you're way older watching this video. But in that case, there's still more for you to learn as well, and I hope you can agree on that, right? But this has been me since 17 years old. I've always had people surprised about my age, and maybe it's because I look older. Maybe I have poor genetics and I'm aging really fast. But either way, I've always had people who are like, "Yo, there's no way you're 17. There's no way you're 18." And now saying now, "Yo, there's no way you're 19. That's just cap. Stop lying." But yeah, man, I guess I kind of been lucky to be blessed with parents who kind of guided me on the right path, a path for knowledge and greatness. And I've always kind of had wisdom sowed into me from a very young age. I was surprised, around parents who had an entrepreneurial mindset. They were in some network marketing businesses, and I got influenced by that. Always around books, podcasts. Like I was podcasting like 2012, 2013, 14. Like that's when I was listening to podcasts and different motivational audios and stuff like that. So I've always had that influence of somebody who's successful in my life, talking wisdom and talking about what they've done on their past. So that has had a huge impact on me as well. But for some reason I've always felt the need to just do great things with my days, my weeks, my months, my years. And I just started to, fix my mental health with these podcasts, these books, and also the gym, right? I just wanted to carry a very large load on my back. And I didn't necessarily know why. I don't know why I wanted to do that. But now I just, now as I take a few more trips around the sun, I'm starting to realize why that is. Why I feel the need to take on so much responsibility at such a young age. And it's actually such amount of responsibility that most 19-year-olds would cringe at, bro, because I just simply want to do big things with my life, and I actually want to do them. I don't just want to do what social media is telling me to do. And I think the actual main reason why a lot of you guys can't actually do what you want to do, stay consistent to your goals, is because you don't actually want it. And I'm not talking about that cliche of, oh, you don't really want it enough, that's why you're not doing it. I mean, you don't want it, and you don't know what you want. You don't know what you want. You only know what social media has fed you to want. You don't want the $5,000 a month. You don't want the big business. You don't want the six-pack. You don't want to be in shape. You don't want a wife. You don't want a family. You don't want a nice car. You don't want to retire your mom. You were just told by social media to want those goals, right? You were just told. Because one time I've realized I've said shit to my mom, like, yeah, I'm gonna work hard, I'm gonna do this, do that. And then this is like a couple years ago, I'd come downstairs, I would watch entertainment, I'd relapse, I'd watch pornography, I would do bullshit. So did I just lie to my fucking mom's face? And just know that yourself as well, bro. Know that yourself as well. If you're slacking off on your goals big time, and your mom is the contingency of those goals, or your parents or your family members, and you say, yeah, I want to do this for my family, just know every time you slack off and every time you push things aside and procrastinate and don't act upon the things that you are supposed to act upon, you're lying to their fucking face. And you should be ashamed of that. And you should be ashamed of that for sure. And I've talked about before leveraging self-shame, because shame is good. We know that. Shame is good. Andrew Tate has talked about this before. I've talked about this before. Shame is a good thing to leverage. So with that being said, figure out what you want. Spend time in isolation. Spend time alone. And think for yourself. Develop your own opinions. That's probably one of my biggest ideas now, because I'm realizing that everybody's spewing that same fucking bullshit they just see on the feeds. It was me at one point as well. I've talked about mental castration and people not developing their own ideologies and just walking around with the mind of their social media feed, and I don't want that to be you. Because if that is you, and you're saying it to the people that you love, and then you don't act upon the required things to get that outcome, then you're lying to them. And then what does lying do? You know, just like Jordan Peterson said, lying is you bending the fabric of reality. And sooner or later, it's going to snap back at you and explode in your fucking face. And who wants that, bro? Who wants that? But look, not much 19-year-olds are going to be doing what I'm doing. And hopefully not much 19-year-olds are going to be doing what you're doing. If you're 14, 15, 16, 17, 25 doing this, 25 to 25 watching this video. Be that rare 18-year-old, be that rare 19-year-old and 20-year-old. Like, apparently, like, I am, ahead of the game as a 19-year-old, and I'm not your average 19-year-old, apparently. And I agree to some extent, but, I don't want to speak with a mouthful of pride, like I said, and I know that I'm still a baby. There's a lot for me to learn. So I stay, kind of as humble as possible and just do what I have to do when I have to do it. But at the same time, you need to be that rare breed within your age group as well, because then how else are you going to accomplish greatness? How else are you going to get done what you want to get done? Okay? On top of, and then within this whole thing as well, you need to make sure you're taking care of your environment. This is all tied into the concept of loading yourself with responsibility. Clean your room. Jordan Peterson says this, ready, clean your room. But I'm trying to wrestle with this idea as well, is that there's different compartments within your environment: your closet, your bed, your desk, underneath your bed, your ledge, your door rack, if you have a basement yourself, your washroom, your kitchen, whatever, and how you keep those different compartments clean. And if your kitchen is clean but then your bedroom is dirty, but then if your bedroom is clean then your washroom is dirty, there's the different characteristic traits that you need to kind of wrestle with, and you need to understand that you're just kind of pushing problems to the side and it's reflecting in your environment. If your washroom is dirty, then that means that's something that's usually concealed, so then you're hiding things from reality. But if your kitchen is clean, that's where guests come, that's where you'll make a little video and people will see that. Therefore, you're actually just putting your best self forward all the time, and you're not confronting the original you, right? So just watch out, man. When you have a junk drawer, your sock drawer is messy in certain areas like that, that's reflecting different parts of your brain and your reality. So work on that. Make sure all compartments of all your environments are clean and all your environments are tidy. And now, I'm fully back in the gym. I'm fully back in the gym as much as I want to be. So you guys already know I'm going to be as aggressive as fucking possible in that bitch, because why else? Why else not? And it's changing my life, man. I just finished reading Atomic Habits 2. I read it in like a week. That was the best book I've read in my life. It changed everything. It changed my perspective on, my habits and everything that I'm supposed to be doing. Okay, and with all this pressure right now, I'm experiencing a lot of pressure with family, in terms of I just need to make more money, and luckily I am working in the dealership now, so I'm able to grind, bro. I'm able to put in as much work as I need to put in to get the desired outcome. And with all this pressure, it's creating a different man, and all this stress is creating a different man, because stress is good, stress is needed. And if you're not, willingly putting stress on yourself, then what are you doing? You're avoiding it. If you have a dick and balls, why are you avoiding stress? Why are you avoiding stress? Why are you avoiding struggle? Why are you avoiding pressure? You're a bitch. If that's the case, you are a female. And I don't mean females, avoid pressure and avoid stress. That's not the case, because everybody goes through their own things, right? But as a man, you have different responsibilities, and you have to willingly confront it. For females, it's okay if they're avoiding a little bit of conflict, avoiding a little bit of trouble. But you as a man, you cannot be avoiding that stuff. Me as a man, I can't be avoiding that at all. And I'm realizing that now. And I know it must be tough, and I know how it feels, because, the responsibility that you see yourself taking on is somewhat overwhelming, and I can relate to that. And sometimes, I break as well to that overwhelming responsibility. I see the harsh realities of the world. I see how much work I have to put in. I see that everybody that I'm living with is, I think extremely deep. I know everybody around me is going to die one day. I possibly could be the last person alive. I'm going to have to, watch everybody die in my life. I'm going to have to provide, continue to work, build businesses, sacrifice this and sacrifice that. It's going to be an eternal struggle for me, and I know that. And sometimes that responsibility and that burden gets overwhelming. And for people who are watching this video right now, and if you haven't even taken on those responsibilities, I completely understand why. And honestly, I'm jealous and I'm envious of you lazy fucks. I'm jealous of you guys who can just chill out every single day and do nothing and push all the goals to the side and feel no shame for it. Beat your meat to fucking pornography and feel no shame for it. Eat like shit and feel no shame for it. Spit your fucking hours away and piss your years away like there's nothing to fucking live for. I'm jealous of that. Because you guys have nothing to worry about. You have no stress. You'll die a purposeless life anyways. And the facade here is that, look, you think you have no purpose, but God made you flawed for a reason. God made you an undisciplined, stupid, flawed motherfucker in a world full of distractions for a reason. And that's to fight the person God made in order to become the person God made you to be. Because without that, then you have no purpose. So you can never say you have no purpose, because your purpose is to become the person God made you to be, because you're flawed right now. And you may say, oh, no, God made me this way, God made me that way. You have to have a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. All the bad traits that you hate about yourself right now are changeable. You can change all of those. And you need to understand that you need to start embodying a new identity as well. You can't identify as somebody who's undisciplined. You can't identify as an addict. You can't identify with somebody who has mental illnesses. You have to identify with the person you want to become. Simply put, and that was in the Atomic Habits book, and that's one thing that I've learned from it as well. And I learned that while reading the Fixed Mindset, Growth Mindset book like a few years back as well. But that's one thing that everybody needs to understand. Okay, I know it's going to be tough. I know you're going to wish you had other cards dealt, and I know it's just a lot. It's overwhelming. But what else can you do? You have to get up and you have to give the fuck to work. Okay? And right now, the main things that I'm, kind of humping over are, being able to pat myself on the back for some of the little accomplishments that I've had in my life, being able to pat myself on the back for that. And because I've had talks about this, for the past 4 years, and on my whole self-development journey, I've never actually rewarded myself at all. And then when I do reward myself, it's to a degenerative degree. And then I hate myself for a little bit, then I get myself a little bit more motivation. I don't reward myself, and it's just a perpetual loop of self-hate, self-improvement, self-hate, self-improvement. And that gets me nowhere. The whole thing should just be self-hate. I'm just kidding. But, it should be self-improvement all the way, with a little bit of grace. Because if that's not the case, then I'm just going to be my own tyrant. It's going to be tyranny, but within my own psyche. And that's what I don't want at all. Okay? And I've been also productively overthinking. One thing that I think you guys should also understand is I still overthink, and you guys should still overthink as well. Don't ever think that you're gonna rid of the overthinking that you have. Just start overthinking productively, and that can actually even do a bad thing as well, because productively overthinking can actually lead to unproductive overthinking. Because for me, I'm always thinking I gotta make money, I gotta start taking care of the bills in the house, I need to buy more groceries, I need to get in shape, I need to up my status, I need to up my following, I need to be consistent on YouTube, I need to make money online, I need to make money in the dealership, I need to do what I gotta do to make it out of here and become the best version of myself. But then I realize if I'm constantly being so critical on myself and just always analyzing the future, then there's no reflection on the past. If there's never ever a reflection on the past, then it's always going to seem like I'm not doing shit. And that's okay if you want to always have a negative outcome on yourself. But if you want to have a healthy relationship on yourself, and if when you make mistakes and you want to have a little bit of grace for yourself, then you have to reflect on the past. You have to understand that it's okay to fuck up. You have to understand that you've accomplished so much already. It's like, as cliched as it is, it's actually so hard to grasp because it's not that tangible. Yeah, whatever, you made your bed in the morning, whatever, I went to the gym, but I'm still broke. I still have only $100 in my bank account. I understand that, bro, but you still did more than the freaking 90%. You did more than 90% of the population. And yeah, don't compare yourself to average, but then you still even did what the 10% did. They got up, they went to the gym, they made their bed, but they just have a little bit more money than you. Because why? Because they've just been doing that for longer. They've been attracting the money for longer, right? So you have to be stoic. You have to, balance your emotions from your actions. And you have to Give yourself grace, man. You have to love yourself a little bit more. And I look back at old videos of myself too when I was, skinny. I was working out like crazy and just doing cardio and just wanted to be skinny and lose weight. I hated myself. I feel bad for that kid, bro. I feel bad for that 17-year-old kid. Extremely bad, because he hated himself every single morning he woke up, but yet he accomplished so much. Imagine you saw your son. Your son, 5 years old, he read 3 books. He started an online business at 5 years old, and then 10 years old comes, he got a job, he started a business in high school. In junior high, he was selling candy. Then after that, he graduated, he got a car, started another business, and then started a tech company and all this kind of stuff. And then imagine he said to himself, yeah, I'm a failure. I've done fucking nothing. How would you feel? As much as we're doing things for our future self, we also have to make sure our future self can look back and be proud and not feel bad. We have to make sure our future self looks at us like, okay, yeah, he was on the right track. Not, oh yeah, he was on the right track, but he hated himself. You have to be healthy in and out. In and out. Because I look back at my past self now, and although I did, accomplish a lot, the mental faculty of that guy was just absurd. It was weak. It was disgusting. And I don't want that to be you. I don't want anybody else to have to go through their memories and hate who they were, hate how they treated their family, hate how they treated themselves, hate how they walked around the world thinking it revolved around them. Hate how they self-diagnosed themselves with depression and made it seem like the best opportunity was to end their life. I don't want that to be you. You don't have to be your own tyrant. You just know that it's just going to be the incremental steps forward, and you're going to have to reward yourself throughout the way. If you don't reward yourself, you're just going to continuously slip. What I read in the book Atomic Habits now is that instant gratification is how we're hardwired. We're hardwired for instant gratification, so you have to reward yourself in some way after you do something hard, or you're going to feel like you're being deprived. After you resist temptation, you have to reward yourself in some way. There has to be some sort of satisfaction. There has to be some sort of visual cue or visual reward. And that's what these big companies are doing too. They're leveraging our unevolved primordial brains. Because, we're still food now, water now, heat now, shelter now. That's how our brains work. Sex now. That's our drive. We're still the same. We live in a delayed environment. Delayed reward environment. So we're able to save food. We're able to save money and actually prioritize the future. But that's not something we're hardwired to do yet. So until we are hardwired to prioritize the future, learn how to leverage your unevolved brain. Your monkey brain, bro. Learn how to leverage this. It's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough. And I always, find myself getting pissed off for things being hard. Or damn, sometimes I just wish I was a female with a fat ass and titties and a pretty face, so I can just study marketing and learn how to do OnlyFans and just pop off. Sometimes I wish for that. I'm just like, then what would that result in? Because we all want the easiest route. We all want the easiest path. So it's okay, bro. You're going to have the desire to, do the wrong things all the time. Nothing's going to happen. But just, stop giving yourself these identities. Stop self-diagnosing yourself. And learn how to just harness your emotions to your advantage. And that's the biggest thing. Harness your emotions to your advantage. Get the fuck to work. And understand that no one's going to come to save you. And the last thing I'll cover here is that you need to understand that nobody's going to give a fuck about your problems as much as you will. So you need to be as aggressive as possible to get those, aggressive as you need to be to get those problems solved. Seriously, bro. The only reason, like, I've my whole life, I've not my whole life, but for the past 4 or 5 years, when I started actually improving my life and getting my shit on track, I've always gotten these statements like, "Oh, yo, yeah, those basic statements. You don't have to work so hard. Oh, you're actually not that fat, etc., 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 etc. You should reward yourself. You should, okay, one cheat meal won't hurt. Just, just one ice cream that won't kill you. Yada yada yada. All this fucking bullshit. And the only reason I'm not where I want to be in my life is because I've taken those statements into consideration. I've taken the noise into consideration. And once you start taking the noise into consideration, you're gonna see yourself just going down a spiral to hell, a spiral to the place that you don't want to be. So listen to your own dialogue. Listen to yourself. Listen to God. Read the Bible. Read the books. Read the people who are where you want to be. And don't take any of that noise into consideration, because you'll fucking stay in the same spot for longer than you need. I could have been further in life if I didn't listen, if I didn't, think that I needed to fit into my family or fit into my friend groups, if I didn't take any of these thoughts into consideration, because I was on my self-improvement journey as aggressive as possible. But then, I was almost kind of somewhat manipulated into thinking that me becoming the best version of myself was taken away from my family relationships. Therefore, I slowed down. I spent more time with them. I did things I don't usually do: eat ice cream, watch Netflix, spend more time with them in a degenerative way. And then where did I fucking end up? Nowhere. I atrophied. I actually went fucking backwards. So don't take that noise into consideration. Fuck that noise. The only noise that you should be battling is the fucking you that you hate. There's a version of you that you hate. And people say, no, self-improvement is about self-love. Self-improvement is about self-hatred. If you loved who you are right now, why the fuck would you change? Oh, because I care, because I care about my health, so I'm gonna love myself and get in good shape. But no, you hate who you are right now. That's why you want to become a different person. If you truly loved who you were right now, then you would stay the same. You wouldn't want to change. That's the same reason why people don't work harder at jobs. They are satisfied and they are complacent with their paycheck. They're complacent with the amount of money they have in the bank. They're complacent with the body they have, with the wife that they have, if the wife isn't, doing them justice or whatever it may be, with the girlfriend that they have that is causing them to fall off on their journey. All of that, with the friends that they have that are causing them to relapse on drugs, smoke weed, go to fucking waste money out, all that kind of stuff. And they're too afraid to offend them. They're too afraid to push their ideas out there. And that's something that I've been struggling too with, actually putting my thoughts out there and saying what I really mean. But then I'm realizing now, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? Like, who gives a fuck? Because one, is that person going to kill me? Am I talking to King Von? Am I talking to 50 Cent? Am I going to... Yes, okay, you have to be, prepared to get punched in the face if you're going to say something offensive. But it doesn't have to be offensive. If you have an opinion about something and you have a belief, you shouldn't feel the need to silence yourself for safety and survival. That's a scary place to be, and I don't want to touch on, governmental control and opinionated indoctrination, but that's for another video. You need to voice your thoughts, no matter where the fuck you are, because if you're not voicing your thoughts, then you're being controlled. You're not being you. You're not being you. Nobody really is you. You don't even have a you, bro. A lot of people, this is the last thing I'll say to wrap up this video. Everybody, dating. I've heard about, you know what? Let's fuck it, bro. I just want to smash all these girls, get sneaky links, hop on Tinder, swipe, smash, fuck. Yeah, take her on a date. Fuck all that. That's crazy. I'm not paying, etc., etc. This is the verbiage I'm hearing from people that are my age, a little bit older, and I'm just like, what the actual fuck kind of talk is this, bro? I mean, were your parents saying these kind of things to you? Where did you get this ideology? Is this how you were born? You were brought into life. You weren't brought into life off of a sneaky link. You were brought into life off of hopefully a marriage, or at least a marriage-like relationship, right? So my point being here is that the main reason why our generation wants and prefers those dating methods is because taking a girl out on a date and courting her, what does that require? Yes, it requires money, but most importantly, it requires character, and it requires a person. It requires you. It requires opinions, actual opinions, and it requires beliefs. Right, but if you're gonna take a girl out on a date, sit across from her on a table and actually have a conversation that's higher than the two of you, what are you putting on the table? Fuck Fuck like what do you bring to the table, but do you have anything? Do you have any substance? Do you have any, anecdotal experience? Or are you just speaking from third person, and are you just speaking from dissected algorithms, short clips, and vertical videos? What are you speaking from? It requires character, and most people who are stuck in these social medias and just going crazy don't have a character and don't have a you. They have a feed. They have a fucking algorithm in their head. And that's all they bring to the date. They don't have their own opinions. They never thought about anything. So once that fact gets exposed, once you are in a situation where it's exposing your lack of character and your lack of knowledge for certain subjects and topics, that's scary. So what are you going to do? You're going to avoid it at all costs. You take a girl, you literally pull up to her house, you text her, you FaceTime her for like 20 minutes, you talk about fucking nothing, the weather, a couple fucking funny TikToks, then you smash. That didn't require much. So if you don't learn how to develop your character, develop your own standards, develop your own opinions, then good luck building a relationship. To conclude this video, everything that I've said and everything that I've encapsulated here is going to require you to load yourself up with more responsibility in your finances, with your body, with your standards, with your opinions, with your room, with your environment, with how you go about interacting with individuals, with how you go about interacting with yourself. It requires you to pick up a fucking load. And I hope this video can equip you with that, because I don't want you guys to end up in a downward spiral, in a perpetual loop of self-hate, self-improvement, just like how I did. So I hope this video can save you guys from that. Load yourself with a little bit more responsibility. Load yourself with stress. Stop fucking wishing for a savior. Your problems are the only problem. You're the only one who cares about your problems that much. So you have to be as aggressive as possible to get them solved. Fuck the outside noise. And do what you fucking gotta do. Love you. Start off tomorrow strong, G. Peace.